what's going on? My name is Mike Mack, and I have built not one but two multi-six-figure automated office cleaning businesses, and now I help people like you, everyday people, do the same. Also, the author of the Amazon bestseller, Pick Up Cash, Not Trash, the ultimate guide to financial freedom without getting dirty. All right, enough about me. What is this exactly? Well, this is a crash course, okay? This is a short course, and I'm going to tell you how you can go to multi-six figures and automate it within a few months. You know, this is what we were able to do, and I'm going to show you this powerful lesson because it's just not out there, guys. There's not enough of this out there, because when we were starting out, we couldn't find it either, and I'm going to tell you a few breakthroughs. There's definitely a few breakthroughs in here that will help everyone get there a ton faster. If you found massive value from this lesson, if it really resonated with you and you would like my help and my team's help helping you implement it in your company, and you'd like to book a call to see if we're fit to work together, you can do that after the video if it resonates with you, okay? So first, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this thing. Okay, so you want to build an automated cleaning business and you want to scale that thing to, through the roof. How do you do it? Well, this is how we did it when we started out, and you're going to see really quickly where we went wrong and why we had to create the system we did, because it was out of necessity. All right, so what happened was when we were starting out, we were doing what everyone else is doing. We were getting, just anybody who will have us. Like, we were just stacking up small accounts everywhere. $200 to maybe one or two of them were like $1,000 to $2,000. So we were having no problem setting out because, like I said, a lot of what we do is we made ourselves the unicorn, and we were able to step out, and our messaging was unique. So we would just take everyone who would take us, okay? We weren't really detailed on who we were looking for. We did what, the other information you get out in the world is, and that is just do these methods like cold calling, cold emailing, things like that, and you get as many clients as you can. That's how you scale. Sounds good, right? Sounds fair enough? It's not, though. And you're going to see right now why it's not. Because while we were having no problems getting these accounts, the big problem, however, was we couldn't staff these accounts. Now you may be wondering, why not? Why couldn't you staff? Oh, I get it, because people don't want to work, right? That couldn't be further from the truth. When you hear people say, we can't find people who want to work, nobody wants to work a cleaning job, I'm telling you right now, you're talking to someone who is completely inexperienced with recruiting and doesn't understand common sense. I'll explain that in a second. The problem with stacking up all these little accounts, because let's say it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Let's say it's 11 accounts, right? And these little triangles, these are tiny little spaces. So let's say these 11 accounts at a few $100s a piece. Let's go 500. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 5,500. So right here, you have 5,500 in recurring revenue. Not too bad, right? The only thing is, these accounts are always going to be scattered all over the place. And that's what we did. Like, we were getting small school here, small school there, small school there, and they were all over the place. So trying to staff for these locations was a nightmare. Another problem we ran into with such smaller accounts was you can't really put your equipment. Most of these small areas, they're smaller offices, so they don't have the ability to let you keep your equipment on site. And so what did that lead to? That led to us not being able to hire. It really led us to just working, our own accounts, doing our own cleaning. And that is very common. If you're not new to cleaning businesses, maybe you've owned a cleaning business before, or maybe you're brand new to it and the thought of doing your own cleaning is terrifying. It should be, because you don't have to do it, and that's what most people do, and they shouldn't be. So this is a big reason why, is because they're going out there, they're doing Google ads, or they're doing SEO. None of these things are necessarily wrong, but the problem is you can't pick who your clients are. If you can't pick who your clients are, you can't target the right people, then you're going to end up in this same predicament. So what we had to do was, we had to go out there and try to see if we could land a bigger account. But we just thought who we were just a small cleaning company that were super niche, and we were only targeting smaller schools. Like, how are we going to go out there and, make this happen? So we got this idea to start approaching bigger locations, and we're almost trying to fake it until we made it. We were sending out these customized chocolates because we wanted to up our game up, and we managed to land our first dealership, right? And now the first dealership was in the ballpark I forget, but I think it's in the ballpark of like, let's say it was 6,500. Might have been a little more, might have been a little less. So one dealership, 6,500. When we landed this account, we were just blown away. We were absolutely blown away. Anyone who's watched the masterclass before, you see that it was like, this came out of nowhere. We didn't think we had a shot. And we were so intimidated because this one space was more than the 5,500 we were earning from I shouldn't have deleted these, other small accounts combined. This was one location. It was a big location. You're able to bring all of your equipment. What else made it easy? What made it easy is what our first nighttime manager, instead of overseeing all of these locations, he only needs to oversee one. That was it. And another thing that made this so great was, oh wow, we're able to staff this pretty easily. You know why? Because it's one location, 2 cleaners, who were working Monday to Friday. Actually, one of them was doing Monday to Saturday, but they're both basically doing Monday to Friday, except they had a flex day on a Saturday. They would kind of switch off on that. That was it. So that was really a breakthrough moment. And then we were just like, oh, this is the way to go. Like, this is the old way. Like, we cannot do it this way. This is what everyone else is doing, and that's why they're getting stuck in their business. While this, however, this is something like, let's say instead of targeting all these small spaces and then having to tally up, like I said, if the average size of our former client was like, let's say $500, how many, those little teepees, how many of those those small accounts would we have to be at to bring home ourselves, let's say $20,000, $30,000, whatever your target is? The idea is we'd have to get like 100 plus offices. Now that's what makes it a nightmare. I mean, that's the very same reason why I'll never do residential, because it's just how many homes do you have to oversee? That's just more headache, that's more things to oversee. So instead of doing that, we realized like, hey, that one big location, that was, 6,500. What if we just targeted this size? While everyone's targeting all the other ones, it's a little sloppy. But let's say we had like 5 larger spaced accounts. Let's round it down to 5,000 for simple math. 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000. So this right here would be, instead of what formerly was, 11 accounts bringing in like $5,000, 5 locations only that are easy to staff, easy to find cleaners for, were $25,000. I mean, what? That was a massive breakthrough. Okay, so you may be saying like, okay, cool. So just go get bigger clients. Or charge more. Not so fast, because that's where the system comes in, because we thought the same thing. We were like, let's do it. All we got to do is the same thing we were doing to get little accounts to get big accounts. But again, it doesn't work like that because it's a different animal. Because in the small accounts, let's say you have your average chiropractor's office, that's going to be like anywhere from $500 to $1,000, maybe a day or two worth of cleaning. For this office right here, like I said, let's get these numbers right here. For this right here, not only is it going to be difficult to staff, but before you even get it, when you're reaching out to these types of clients, it's typically easy to talk to the BO, the business owner. And when you send your marketing to them, he or she is going to see it. It's going to be really simple. You know why? Because they're the decision maker at the end of the day. Now, is that not the truth for your $5,000, let's say, medical office? Is it not the same thing? Does the business owner not see that? Well, no, because let's say in medical office, when it comes to medical offices, it's typically a busy doctor. And, that busy doctor, let's see, that's a doctor. Let's see, doctor. All right, so this is your doctor, right? And this is like the door to get into the space. My drawing is horrible, but I hope it illustrates the point. So on your way to the doctor, there's so many different layers to get through. I don't mean literal layers. I mean the idea that there are, there's a secretary. There is, there's what's called the gatekeeper, somebody who sits at the front desk and they don't let anybody get through to the decision maker, the doctor. There's also a practice manager that you have to get past. So like our simple version 1 unicorn marketing strategies were good. They were good to land these, but they weren't good here. Like we really needed to figure out how to penetrate these, like almost like firewalls, to get through the decision maker. And that's how we came up, and that's why, out of necessity, we had to come up with the rich niche method. And I'm going to show you how that works right now. Okay, so let's show you how this works. Let's show you how we're able to get these premium accounts. And like I said, one more time from the top. So the old way of doing it, right? Like I previously mentioned, you may not be unfamiliar with this. The old way is just, sending out a bunch of, flyers. Another way you may go about is calling them. Another way is maybe walking in. Now, these, if you're not new to me, I don't like any of these things, okay? Because we lose our positioning this way. We look kind of desperate. Even if we are able to land the account, we're not able to actually get the price that we deserve for, the price of the service that it's going to take to run the place. So when we do things this way, we don't break through. Now, remember this illustration I just made where the doctor here and it's the firewall? I want you to think about this. When you print out flyers and you send them to this office, right? You want to land this office. What's going to happen? Well, the flyers right off the bat, they're going to go to the front desk. And what's going to happen at the front desk? No solicitation, right? Signs on the door, they're not for it, right? So what are they going to do? They're going to see a flyer, they're going to see it's an advertisement, they're going to throw this into the garbage. What about calling? Do you think you're actually going to reach the doctor? No way. No way. This is why we don't do that. What's going to happen? You're going to reach the secretary. Maybe you'll get the practice manager. And what's going to happen once they know you're selling them something? They're going to hang up on you, or they're going to say not interested. So this is why that way doesn't work. And same thing with walking in. Do you think you're going to walk right in? You're going to get past everything to go to the doctor? No. The doctor is busy. And when a doctor's not busy with his patients or her patients, what the doctor is doing is just being a doctor, just being in the back office. They're just doing all the things that doctors do. I'm not going to pretend I know exactly what they do, but you know what doctors are not doing? They're not hanging out in a waiting room. They're not hanging out waiting for a new cleaning business owner to come in and pitch them services. They're not. So this is why this doesn't work. These things absolutely do work with small accounts, but you're never going to get the big accounts, okay? So that's the old way. Now, let me tell you the rich niche way. This is the way we had to think ourselves, we had to think out of the box and we had to separate ourselves. So, rich niche. The rich niche method, we, using this same illustration. I keep deleting it, but I keep saying delete too. I keep erasing it. So, we got our protected doctor, right? So, how can we get to this protected doctor? Well, we have to create a bit of omnipresence around each one of the clients. Like each one of our clients on our list, we want to create that bit of omnipresence, right? By the way, are you seeing that better now? Sorry. So how do we do this? Well, I told you the old way. Sending, maybe you're printing out flyers and sending them, or you're leaving your flyers at the front desk, or your business cards at the front desk, or you're calling. None of these things are going to penetrate these walls. So what will penetrate these walls? Glad you asked. So the only thing that's going to penetrate these walls is you coming across different than everyone else. And the first step is really you want to have, your messaging. You want to have powerful messaging that breaks through. Messaging that helps you come across as somebody completely different. And another way to do that is, what's a way to really set yourself apart? We were really thinking to ourselves, how do we really set ourselves apart? Well, we realized that when it comes down to it, you have to be memorable, right? Memorable. Yeah, that's the word. You have to be memorable. And, there are two ways as I see it to be memorable, right? The two ways are, you would think the one way, right? Everyone's like, you got to be cool. You got to be the cool guy. It's like, no, you don't be the cool guy, because that's not memorable, because chances are you're not as cool as you think, and it just falls flat. All right. So the way you do this and you build this omnipresence, and there's two ways to go about it. You could do what most people do, and they are sleazy. They pull the sleazy route, right? The just hard sales, hard marketing, hard sales, hard marketing, and it never works. You know why? Because it never makes it to the doctor. It never breaks past the second barrier. What will? Well, what will is being memorable in a different way. So instead of being sleazy, we want to instead be cheesy. We want to be cheesy. So what we want to do is we want to pick 2 to 4 marketing methods, right? It could be direct mail. It could be, postcards. It could be, it could be Facebook ads. It could be emails. We want to combine 3 to 4 different methods, and that way we want to come at it from each direction. Okay, like I mentioned with the dealership, our first dealership, what did we do? Well, we sent a custom chocolate. So why that worked was it got directly to the doctor. because we had the doctor's name on it and it wasn't like just your regular piece of mail. And the only thing standing in the way between you and getting the business from the doctor is by making an impression on the people that guarding the doctor, their secretary, the person at the front desk. This is what you need to do. You need to make an impression on them. And the way you do that, totally separating yourself, is, like I said, using the rich niche method. What happens is the secretary sees something and it's cheesy and it's kind of funny. And what does he or she do? Well, chances are he or she, especially if you're doing this right, they're gonna kick it up to the manager and they're gonna say, look at this, look at this, look what I just got. Aren't they funny or weird or whatever? And if there is a need, sometimes that's all it takes. And sometimes it'll go a little further. But when something comes in and it's for the doctor and it's from you and they know it's from you, they recognize that you're not sleazy, and if anything, you're cheesy. And cheesy is disarming. So what happens here? What happens when you do this effectively? Well, if it's done right, you melt the walls and then you come in and you close the deal or open the relationship. It's that simple. And then right there, another $5K every single month, no matter what, another $5K. Bam. Just like that, you are able to just walk in and one by one, client by client. And when you're doing things this way too, every client being around $5,000, I mean, think about that. You don't have to go out and get hundreds of clients. That's what makes this so powerful. And that's how you're able to scale so fast. Let's say you went out and let's say you only brought one account a month for a year. You know, let's say you took 2 months off for Christmas and Thanksgiving. If you did that at like $5,000, I mean, you're going to pull in every single month. If you did that by the end of year one, $50,000 per month. If you did 10 locations, these are not big accounts. I have accounts much bigger than this. But I'm just saying, like, this is what makes the rich niche powerful. I mean, how would another $50,000 every single year? I mean, you do this for 3 years. You know how to do that, right? You know how to basic math. I mean, to some people, if you're negative, you may look at this like it sounds like a pipe dream. It's just simple math. I'm being conservative. One account a month when you're doing the rich niche? You can do a lot better than that. You can do a lot better than that. So imagine that, $150,000 per month. Was that 1.5? It's like two something, almost 2 million. You're pushing 2 million. And that's a lot of money in 3 years with the cleaning business. What makes this so powerful is it's recurring revenue. This isn't something you have to go keep recreating and recreating. I mean, that is the beauty of this, okay? That's what makes us different. That's like our secret sauce. It's really that unicorn element, and then you add the rich niche element, and now you get to break through, and you get to, you know, look at that, heart. You're getting great clients this way too because you're not forcing your way down their throat. And it's easy to staff, so it's easy to automate. And less locations is easy to automate. This is how we come up with these numbers, okay? This is just a simple exercise to show you the power of the rich niche method. So listen, I had an absolute blast showing you just like a bird's eye view of how this thing works and the power of it. And if it resonates with you and you do see the value and you want my team's help to help you install this directly in your company that's existing, or even better if you're brand new and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't have any business experience. We specialize, over 80% of our students are brand new to business. I mean, one of them is one of our newer students, Ashley. She's like 22 years old. A month in the program, she's about to land her first dealership. It's just under $5,000. And think about how exciting that is. 22, no business experience, no anything, and all of a sudden you're about to hit the ground running just like a month in a program. That is the power of it. There's so many other stories like that. Like I said, if you would like our help to get this built in your company so you could hit the ground running and get these numbers and get these bigger numbers, then we are happy to help you. I invite you under this video to book a call with my team. Calendar spots every week do kind of fill up pretty fast. So I would encourage you to pick a time that works for you and let's make this happen. Let's do this. We're here to help you. I hope you got massive value from this. I'll see you on the next one.